when you hit this, concentrate on the end of the stamp and don't raise your arm drastically too high. It's just kind of a quick, sharp blow. Now, some of you might be a little bit skeptical of holding that stamp and trying to do your letter. So here's one other alternative. It's a little safer. Disadvantage of this is you don't feel the stamp, whether it's sitting squarely on the metal or not, but it will work, and it does save your fingers. And one thing you don't want to do is keep hitting it like a woodpecker, because this letter will jump around on you and leave all kinds of letters there rather than one single letter. So one good sharp blow does the job. Okay, once the handle has been identified with your name, next thing we need to do is start laying out layout lines for bending and for drilling. Simply take a rule, lay it down against the end of the handle, scribe off a 1/2 inch with a scratch awl, and scribe off 4 3/4 of an inch with a scratch awl. And what I like to do is to take a square, holding the square tight against the side of the handle, placing this down on something rigid, draw the scratch awl across. That will engrave the mark all the way across the metal. And remember, our name is at this end. Okay, then turn the handle around and we'll mark the 1/2 inch, the 1 inch, and the 2 inch mark. Once those are in place again, use the square, scribe the line across. And the next thing we need to locate is the center of the 2 lines that are going to be drilled. That's the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch lines, which are going to have 1/8 inch holes drilled. This is 3/4 inch band iron. Halfway across is 3/8. So we count over 3 dashes on our square, scratch the line in, 3/8 inches over, scratch the line in. Now, so that the drill bit will grab at that particular point, we need to center punch. Also notice I've been doing all of this stamping and center punching on top of an anvil. Anvils are more rigid, less give, so the imprint that you make with a tool will be deeper than if you worked on top of a bench. We line up, drive a center punch. Use only a center punch on this. You'll bend the tip of a scratch awl if you try that on this metal. So use only a center punch for this purpose. So once the holes are marked, you can now go over to the drill press and drill 1/8 inch holes.
What we're going to do today, you have your piece of metal. You've measured off a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch, and 2 inches on this end. You've also, between on the 1/2 inch mark and the 2 1/2 inch marks, you've measured halfway in between, and you've put a center punch mark in there. Now what we're going to do, and only to the area where these are center punched, is we're going to drill a hole. Now I've got this jig set up here, and we have an 1/8 inch drill in here. It's all set up right now. All you need to do in order to drill a hole is to put this into here, turn the machine on, and then bring this down right into the hole that was that we had marked. You have to hold this down now. You can't just put it in here, because if you don't hold it down, what's going to happen is when this goes through, it will climb up the drill. So just take this and just drill it through like that. Bring it back up. Blow out any of the things. There's the first hole that's drilled. Now we'll put it back in here and drill the second hole. And if you have done this right, where the drill hits the center, will hit the center punch holes, and now you've got both these holes drilled. Now you'll also notice that if you turn this over, that there are some burrs on the back side of this. What you're going to need to do with these burrs on the back side is to take a file and file those off of there. The next thing we're going to do, once this is finished, is to finish drilling the holes and have the ends rounded, is we're going to bend this into the handle. I told you need to file this off here. It doesn't take too much to do the filing on this. So those are pretty good now. The burrs are off of it. Now we have to turn it back over to the side that has the marks on it. On this side, you have a 2-inch mark here, you have a 1/2 inch mark there, and then you have a 4 1/4 inch mark from here to here. These are now what we're going to have to do as far as the lines that we're going to do the bending on. First thing we're going to do is take this, get my hammer real quick, take this and put this into the vise so the jaws of the vise are right on that mark right here. We'll put that like that. Make sure that it's straight up. And then you're going to want to bend this over. Now, the one way to remember this is that you push, you pull, and you push. That's the order we're going to do this in. So we're going to take this, bring it over here, and push this over, about like that. You might also want to sure that it's a fairly sharp bend. So that's the first bend. It looks like this. The second bend, you take this and just turn it over like this. You notice we don't turn it any other way, and we put it at the 1/2 inch mark right down below here. Put that in there so it's right on the line. Make sure that it's straight up. Now then, first time we pushed, now we're going to pull it. We're going to pull it this way, and we're also going to hammer this. Like that. So now we have, you see how this is? It goes down, flat, and then up. The next portion here we're going to have to use is use somebody to help us out here. I need a volunteer, thank you. Open this vise up, and then we're going to take this pipe, and you notice where this line is right there, where the line is. We're going to put the line at the top edge of this pipe. We'll put this into here, just like that. Now tighten it down. Now, which way do you think we should do this? Push. Okay, so we're going to push it this way, like that. Loosen it up, loosen the pipe. We're going to bring this like this. Okay. See how this part now goes this way. We're going to bring this over like that. Loosen it up. And now we almost have this handle. The handle is almost bent the correct way. Now we have to finish closing this. The way we do this is open the vise, open it, put it in about that far, now close it. And now you're going to tighten the vise onto here until this part touches that part, and then go 1/4 of a turn further. Okay, that's good. Now loosen it up. And you almost have your handle bent. You'll notice that this is just a little bit off. This is not right in line with here. It's just a little bit off. So the way we're going to straighten this out is we'll put this back into the vise so it only holds this part right here. All right, go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, now you can take a hammer, or you can just use your hand to do it, and take this and just tap it a little bit until it's in line with the bottom part. Okay, loosen it up now. And sometimes what happens is that this comes loose from here, so it gets loose. So what you need to do is put this back into here, loosen it up a little bit. Now tighten it until okay, now we'll go about a quarter of a turn again. Okay, that's good. Now loosen it. And now your handle is completed. What we need to do now, the next thing we'll do with this handle is to be placing it onto the scoop portion.